All right, we're going to start learning how JavaScript can be used to interact with the HTML with your website. So we're going to start off with just the basic HTML, CSS, JS templates here. In my fake student account, I'm going to call this Hello Elements. And it'll just be a demo of using event listeners. Okay, that's going to be our main focus right now, is listening for events on the page and then running code when those events happen. So I'll create that repository, and yeah, like I said, we're just going to have some HTML elements, and we're going to be able to use JavaScript to select those HTML elements and add event listeners to them, such as a click event. Okay, I'm going to clone this to my GitHub desktop here. Wrong folder. I want to go to, where do I do? Oh yeah, F drive, CS10, there we go. Okay, hello elements, cool. And basically what I want to do is whenever I click on an element, a heading, a paragraph, a button, I just want to say, hello heading, hello paragraph, etc. So let's open that up in Visual Studio Code. And we're just getting all set up here, go live. And we're going to open up our console, of course, because that console is very useful to us. All right, here we go. Okay, so I've got a heading in here. Let's add another paragraph, and I'm just going to do some lorem. If you go lorem and then a number of words and do the emit abbreviation, it just fills in some dummy text for you. After that paragraph, let's do another paragraph with a button inside of it that just says click me. Then maybe I'll do an unordered list with some list items. List item 1, Control C, Control V, list item 2, list item 3. Maybe I'll have an H2 that says subheading, and after that we'll do a paragraph with some lorem text again. Okay, save that. Prettier did its little formatting thing. I go here, there's some HTML. Great. Okay, now we know in our, we're doing the script main.js thing, and that's right, I got rid of that defer, and now the defer is going to come in handy this time, but we'll take it away for now. So we're just simplifying. We have a script element, and the source is main.js, so whatever is inside of here will run. So if I go alert, hello world, right, as soon as I save this, the live server reloads my page and it says hello world. Right, but I find that kind of annoying that this hello world runs as soon as the page loads. I'd like to maybe click the button, and when I click it, it'll do that alert. Or I want to click the heading and something happens, or anyway. We're just going to, there's lots of events we can listen for. We're just going to focus on the click event for now. But you can like double click, you can mouse in or mouse out or mouse over or things like that. Scroll wheel, there's all sorts of different events. But we're just going to focus on the click event when you click an element. Okay, but anyway, like I said, whenever the page loads, this code runs, I want to be able to run it on demand. I want to be able to run it when an event happens. So the way that we do that, first of all, is we need to take this code here, this alert, and we need to store it, right? I want to store this code so that it doesn't run, but it's ready to run when I need it to. And the way we do that is by defining our own function. So we can define a function by using the keyword function. I'm going to give the function a name, and we have to do similar rules as variables. We can't have spaces and things like that. So we're just going to go say hello maybe. Then I do parentheses and then open and close braces. So keyword function, the name of the function. These parentheses we'll talk about more later, but right now you need to have those parentheses there. And then the braces control where the function starts and where it ends. So right now there's nothing inside of the function. We're going to change that by taking this code, Control X and Control V, and putting it inside the function. Don't have it all lined up. You should have it indented inside so you can easily see where the function ends and begins. So if I had another one, we'll say hello world again. Right? We want everything inside the function to be indented so it's easy to see where it starts and where it ends. Okay, we're going to save that. And now you'll notice, well, hold on, I've got 2 alert commands. When I go here, nothing's happening. Refresh the page, nothing's happening. And that's because functions store code. Right? This code won't run until we tell the function to do its job. Now we can actually do that ourselves. I'm just going to go into the console here, just like we could go. So alert is a built-in function, right? The JavaScript has this built-in function, so I can do alert followed by parentheses and say hi, and it'll run that function. Okay. Well, now that I've defined my own function, say hello, I can do the same thing. I can go say hello, which is the name of the function, and then to call the function, I need to do those parentheses. And now it'll run that function. Hello world again. Right? If I wanted to call the function again, say hello, and it runs the code inside of that function. So the function stores the code, and then whenever we call the function, this is called invoking or calling the function, it'll do its job. But in this case, we don't want to call the function. We want the event listener. We want the function to run the code inside of it when an event happens, or when I click something. And when I click something, it'll do that code. All right, so the way that we can do that is, first of all, there is a JavaScript command called document. Well, first of all, the document just refers to the whole page, right? The document is everything. And that's a JavaScript kind of global variable that we can use. And the document has all sorts of commands that we can do. One of them is add event listener. Okay, so we can add an event listener to the document. And I don't want to do it in the console here. I want to copy this. I want to do it in here. And I'm just going to go above this function. And I'm going to say document.add event listener. So it says, hey, take the web page, the document, and I want to add an event listener. And this is a function, so we need parentheses to call this function. It's a built-in function. And inside of here, I need to give this event listener some information. First of all, what event to listen for. So in quotations, we do the click event. And then the next thing, so then we do a comma. And the next thing is basically saying, okay, document, when the click event happens, right, when you get clicked, I want you to call the say hello function. Now notice I don't do parentheses here. That's when I want to call it myself. Right now, I'm just giving the name of the function. See how it highlights, right? The name of the function is say hello. So this is saying, okay, document, when you are clicked, tell this function to do its job, right? Run the stored code inside of that function. Oh yeah, let's try that. So I go to here, and I can get rid of that. And now, hopefully, whenever I click the document, hey, hello world again. And I can click anywhere on the document, right? Click here, hello world again. Click over here, hello world, right? Whenever the document, any part of the page is clicked, it'll do that. Okay, so that's cool. So just key things here, right? What event to listen for, the click event, a comma, and then the name of the function. And basically, when that event happens, the event listener says, okay, say hello function, do your job. All right, now, I don't want to just click anywhere on the document. I want to say, maybe I just want to click this button. Well, it works whenever I click anywhere. So one thing we can do is the document also has a built-in function called Getelementbyid. Okay, and then I just pass the ID of an element inside of here, and it will actually get a reference to that element. So for example, if I go to my button and I give it an ID attribute of btn, okay, if I go back to here, I can, inside of quotations, go btn, and it's basically saying, hey, JavaScript is saying document, I want to search the document, and I want to get the element with this ID. And if I hit enter, there it is, right? It gives me a reference to this entire HTML element, right? There's open tag, closing tag, the inner HTML. That's my button element. Okay, let's give this H1 an ID of, ID of heading. All right, I go back to here, and let's go document, but this time I'm going to go Getelementbyid heading, and it gives me the heading. Awesome, right? It searches the document for that element, returns a reference to it. Now, if I misspelled something, heading, and I did that, it'll return null. Okay, so if you don't give it a valid ID, it just does null, and you'll get an error sometimes where it says, I can't set this as null, or I can't add an event to something that's null. So you just got to really be careful that the IDs match. Anyway, with this newfound skill, instead of adding the event listener to the document, we can actually add another .getElementById before we do the .add event listener. We're kind of chaining commands here together. That's what this dot does, right? Say, hey, document, get this element, And then with that element, add an event listener to it so that when I click it, I call this function. That's a lot all in one line. And in here we add btn. Okay, so documents.this, and I'm actually going to change this to hello button, and let's change this to match, right? We have to has to match, and in here we're just going to alert hello button. Okay, awesome. Right, so this has to match, right? It has to be the name of a valid function. All right, and actually I can show you, well, let's make it work first. So we'll go here. Oh, okay, cannot read properties of null. Main.js line 3, reading add event listener. So that's exactly what we talked about, this null thing. But I thought I fixed, oh no, okay, what did I do wrong here? Index.html. Okay, perfect. Well, kind of not perfect, but perfect. So it's saying that line 3 right here, I'm trying to add an event listener to this, but it's saying that it can't get this element, it can't find it. And it's like, well, I can find it, it's right here. But the problem is that the script tag is here. So this JavaScript code inside of here, it's trying to get the btn element before the page is loaded. That's why we need the defer. That defer simply means please wait for the web page to load and then run the JavaScript code. You can also move the script tag down to the bottom of the body, and that would fix it too, right? You can load the page and then run the script tag. But I always think the body should be for the visible content of the page, and the script, it just seems to fit here. It's by the link where we link to our style sheet. Hey, it uses JavaScript. So doing that defer means that it should wait for the page to load, and now, ta-da! I click the button, it says hello button. I click anywhere else, nothing happens. Only the button, hello button. Okay, let's try something else. Let's now go documents.getElementById, heading, .add event listener, click, and I'll say hello heading. Right now, if I try to run this page, it's going to give me error, hello heading is not defined. Line 9, right? Line 9, well, of course, because there is no function called hello heading. So we have to define a function called hello heading, and inside of here we'll say alert hello heading. Save. So now when I click the button, it says hello button. When I click the heading, it says hello heading. I click anywhere else, nothing happens. And you can keep doing this. You can add event listeners to whatever you want. Let's do list item 3. I'm going to give it an ID, li3. Okay, you can call the ID whatever you want. Let's try this. Document getElementById, li3, add event listener, click, and we'll say hello list item. Function hello list item, and we'll alert hello list item. Save. I go back to here and I click list item 1, nothing happens. List item 2, nothing happens. List item 3, hey, hello list item. Now another thing, actually, we can reuse this function, right? I could give IDs to all of these. ID is li1, ID is li2, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to just copy and paste this line, li1, li2, and now I'm adding a click event listener to li1 that'll call this function, a click event listener to li2 that'll call the same function, click event listener to li3 which will call the same function. Okay, so no matter what list item I click, it'll say hello list item. And list item 2, yay! List item 1, cool. List item 3, cool. Click anywhere else, nothing happens except for my button and my heading. All right, so these IDs, right? You can get element by ID and add event listener to whatever you want and run the code inside of that function. All right, hope that made sense. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.